Down because I really appreciate everybody coming right at 4 o'clock, and I want to honor your time and just so that you know you're in the right place. I'm Karyn Warner with the CDE Foundation. You've been getting, I'm sure, emails from me, and we're going to spend the next hour. I don't expect that my content will take an hour, but I've got a lot of time for just Q&A, but I'm going to give you a little tour of what to expect and give you some tips and recommendations. And so that's what we're in for. I am recording this session. I'm going to share it out with the folks who aren't able to make it today. So if you want to come on camera and wave to all the other presenters, you're welcome to do that. So as we get started here, I thought that we would, one of the things we're going to be talking about is engagement. And I had 75 people sign up for this training session. And so I thought, well, let's start with an annotation feature that you could use during your presentation if you would like, to help get your session participants, getting them engaged. And so I know that we probably won't have all 75 people come today to this session, but I do know that people will be watching it on demand, just the way it'll be for the symposium. You may not have as big a group as you might imagine when people come, but keep in mind that people do watch the on demand. And so I'm going to present as if all 75 of you are here, even though I can see 35 are here now. But if you will go, if you haven't used this before, you're going to be going up and looking where it says view options and annotate. And this is what I would like for you to annotate. How are you feeling today? Before we get started, you're coming to learn quite a bit of information in a little bit of time, and I thought this might help me to know where you're all at. I'm sure we're in a lot of places, and I see people have figured out stamps and some drawing, and and a little upside down. Breakout rooms, because what we are really wondering is, what is it that brought you here today? What is it that you're wondering? So if you would just take a couple of minutes with whoever you end up seeing in your room, just let them know who you are, where you are. This gives you a chance. We have hundreds of presenters, and so get to know each other just for a couple of minutes here, and then when you come back, I'll have a little idea of some of the questions that you want me to answer today. So Glenn.
So I was telling my group that I want to learn how to make sure I know how to use Zoom and its basic features, and I kicked myself out of the breakout room.
Well, it's okay. No big deal.
Yeah, we've never done that. Nobody's ever done that.
So, learning lessons already. This is already really helpful.
Yes. Well, good. Well, and this is what I really appreciate that. That's what this is all about is we're going to try some things, and better to try here, right? Because it's going to be a forgiving group no matter where you go. But I really appreciate everyone taking a little time, practicing using that breakout room and seeing what if you haven't had too many chances to set it up yourself, just to see what that experience is. I think everyone
looks like everyone's back.
Oh, they're all back. Thank you.
Similar, I want to call out two things for everyone, and hope you all enjoyed getting to meet each other. One thing I wanted to call out, similar to how Karyn and I are working together, there's going to be a room host in every room. So when you arrive to your session early, you can coordinate and ask them to assist with creating breakout rooms or things like that. They can also give you the controls to do it yourselves. So it's really up to you. And two, if there are burning questions that came up during your discussions in your breakout rooms, if you want to drop those in the chat, and that'll give Karyn some things to make sure that we address. She'll probably address most of them in her presentation, but we'll make sure not to miss anything that way. And with that, Karyn, take us away.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started for this next section. One of the things I just wanted to help orient everyone, the symposium is over 3 days. It's going to be over Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon, and then it will start again on Saturday morning and go until the keynote will end at 2 p.m. on Saturday. So all of you have been scheduled on one of those 3 days. So I just wanted you to kind of have the whole scope of it. So there's something that I wanted to let you know how special you are, because you're going to be a participant for the symposium and also a presenter. And so sort of like, let's say you were going to a convention center and you're going to walk in that front door and there's going to be a welcoming space and you'll find like where your breakout sessions are. What that convention space is for us virtually is called Socio, and Socio is the platform. And I wanted to give you an idea of what that looks like, because when you come, let's say on Thursday to the opening keynote, you're going to be like all the other participants, and you will come into that Socio platform. And when you log in, this is what it'll look like. This is what we call the welcome page. And it's got some different areas. Over here on the far left-hand side, you can tell we're at home, so you automatically come welcome home. And where you're going to go if you want to find the keynotes, or if, let's say, you're going to a breakout session other than your own, not your own, but let's say you're going to someone else's breakout session, this agenda is where you will click. So I'm clicking on this agenda, and then it shows me, this is for Thursday the 21st. You can see that up here at the top. There's this whole calendar bar. And for Thursday the 21st, I can see that there are some sessions here that are available to me. These would be the quick talk and wellness sessions. And I can see that this one goes from 3:05 to 3:25. And I can scroll all the way down and see everything that's available, which there's a lot of sessions available. Let's imagine that I know that I'm here as, that I have a specific learning path that I want. And notice all these, to me, they look like little colorful jelly beans, these little tags. Up on this far right-hand corner, you'll see a filter. I'm going to click on that filter. To me, it looks like a martini glass, but it is a filter symbol. And I can say clear. I don't want every track available to me, because I'm really interested in, let's say, sharing the joy of learning. That's one of the things I'm here for. I really am wanting to know middle school and high school. And let's say it has to do with, maybe I want to do family engagement, and I'm also interested in multilingual learner supports. So I've chosen from all these different jelly bean tags, I'm going to apply these filters, the ones that I want to see, and then it will give me a shorter list of things. And obviously I've chosen kind of a broad range with middle school and high school, but it does shorten the number of sessions. So now let's say it is 3:05, and I'm thinking, I'd really like to go to this CS as elementary. I'm really interested in this computer science. When I click on that, this is where I can see exactly the full name of those jelly beans, that they just have a few letters to indicate what that tag is. But this is how people are going to be able to come to your session, and you can go to other people's sessions, and you can, instead of just making it a random guess, you can start to decide what's your learning path, as people will choose their own learning path. And this is, you all gave me a description for your presentation. This is where your description's showing up. And then it'll show me the speaker's name. And if you gave me a headshot and you gave me a bio, then that's where this would show up. So because this isn't a live session, there's usually when it's live, it has video stream, and I can click on that. And that's how I'd actually go into the Zoom room, because then you leave Socio and you go into a Zoom room. And if you've ever been in Zoom, as you are now and presented, you're going to get a lot of those same kinds of features. If you've never presented in Zoom before, that's okay, because that's what we're here for as well. So you're not left behind. So I've shown you the welcome page. This is where you land. I've shown you the agenda page here with the little jelly bean tags. There's always going to be a help desk available. So anybody at any time who has a question and feels lost, they can always click on help desk and we'll have it manned by a great team. So you're never going to be lost because you can always go to the help desk and see Erin and Allison and Kayla and that crew. You can go and see exhibitors. And if you want to see, well, who are the speakers or who are the attendees, all those things are available here too. So if I click on speakers, let's see if this is, we're building this now as we speak. So there may be some things that aren't all in here, but this is where we would be able to see, oh, let's say I'm a colleague of Carrie's and I really want to see what things she's presenting, then they can click on that and they can see what sessions. So maybe I'm going to all of Carrie's sessions and then I'm going to choose some other things too. So people can navigate it that way. And let me tell you, that's easier than being in a huge convention center trying to find Carrie. This is one advantage of having a virtual event. And so that's kind of a quick overview of this whole platform that is called Socio. And if you come here, this is also where you, with this agenda, when the keynotes are live, this is where you would go to that keynote session as well. And if you do not see something that says when you click on it, if it doesn't say video stream now or video stream live, then that just means that that room hasn't opened yet, because the rooms are only open to participants 15 minutes before the session starts. So now we're going to get to how you are special. So I'm going to leave Socio for the moment. Oh, let me check before I go any farther. Let's see if we have questions about this. Who are the main audience of the conference? Oh, okay, good to know. So it is education, or it is teachers for sure. We also have a number of superintendents and principals and people from county offices of ed. Glennon, you probably are the person who, you're my data guy. You probably know pretty much the equal breakdown.
Sure. So we have all grade bands. We have everything from early ed to pre-service in terms of participants joining. We have first year educators, pre-service educators, seasoned educators. The not demographic, but the way we think about our audience, the majority of our audience, or the biggest group, is classroom direct service educators. And they make up about 40%. And then the other two groups are district level, county office level, administrative staff, and industry and nonprofit partners. And so expanded learning and nonprofits and district level staff are also a big part of the audience. So that's kind of the quick snapshot of that.
Right, and I would say that we're still building out the platform, this week. And so if you're looking at attendees, I had clicked on that. You likely, I see that Kristen's saying, oh, there's a lot of nonprofit folks. We had a pre-conference September 1st, and it was specifically about expanded learning, the program, and different opportunities. And we had a high percentage of people who were really interested in that topic, who were community partners. And so they're already in the system because they were already on the platform September 1st. And so as we build in all the other people who have registered, you'll start to see this grow by hundreds.
So two other questions have come in. One from Brad about the schedule of presentations being released. We have a primary presenter that has been notified for every presentation that was accepted. If you're a co-presenter and didn't receive that information, please connect with your primary presenter. We have one point of contact for every presentation.
And then let's see, the filters that are associated, did we as presenters determine that? So when you were submitting and you said what pathways were associated, the pathways and that strand or theme are the ones that you chose, and those are the ones that were added in. So that's how those filters were chosen, is from your submission. If you see something that is incorrect, please let us know, because we don't want to misdirect people and say that you're teaching something about kindergarten and it's about high school, because that would be frustrating for everybody. So Brad, sounds like you and I probably need to, maybe we need to connect. I did have some people who I sent to everyone that I had their contact information about your presentation times, and for some people it went to a spam, and for some their districts block emails with, and so we may just have missed you that way, so I will be able to help. All right, so we're going to leave, put a pause on this Socio platform. So imagine you're, going out of the convention center now, and we're going to then, I'm going to click through these. This was my backup in case something went down and I couldn't get on. So if you're looking at this presentation later, please know that those slides are there for those folks as well who couldn't come. So as I was mentioning earlier, when you are in your breakout room and you see people coming in, the people who are there are only a portion of the people who will actually see your presentation, because they're all being recorded. And after the event on the Socio platform, when they go to your session title, we will have the recording link there and your resources so that people can watch your presentation on demand, because there's going to be over 100 presentations. Not possible to go see everything you want to see live, but you can catch it on demand.
And Karyn, before you move on from that slide, I want to highlight a couple of things. Two things, really. One, as an event, we have no control over who goes to which rooms or which rooms are most popular at a given time. We've forecasted to the best of our ability to have at least a good number of people in each room. But what I would encourage everyone to do is remember why people come to an event like this, especially a virtual event in a time where they could be outside or doing other things later in the evening. They're coming to interact with other people. They're coming to engage with you as presenters. They're coming for those types of interactions. And so if for some reason you have a small room, encourage everyone to come off camera, introduce each other, have that community feel to your session. Take advantage of it as a way to have a really rich session and a really rich discussion with a very small group, and really meet their needs. Because those, to me, it's happened in conferences, like in real conferences and in virtual conferences. I have the best experience as a participant when I get the most interaction with the presenter if I'm in a very small room and they kind of go off script. Don't feel the need to follow a script and present because it's going to be recorded. You can just really highly interact with a small group and they'll have a great time with you. If you have a really big group, take advantage of the tools of Zoom and make it possible for them to interact with each other, so it doesn't feel like sit and get. So doing something similar to what we did at the top, a small breakout room with 2 to 3 participants for a period of time, mix that into your thing. People are really craving this opportunity to interact and discuss with each other. And it's really hard to do in a virtual world, but this is one of the best places to do that.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Glennon, for that heads up on that. I appreciate it. So when people are coming to your session, as Glennon was saying, they want to be able to interact. So I'm going to go through just a few things here just to remind us about being sure that there's some actionable takeaway or a hands-on activity, something that, as Glennon was saying, is really drawing them in, because this is what they're hoping to get. Excuse me. And then anytime you have some deeper dive resources that you can share, that is so appreciated by people. So think of that. And if you would, for all your resources, rather than having separate links that you would give to me to associate with your presentation, if you'll embed them in your presentation, then participants, when they go later into Socio and they look at your your video, or they want to pull up your slide deck, they can just have everything kind of one-stop shopping instead of having all these different links. So if you would do that, that would be very helpful for people. One of the things that we've heard from people again and again, whether it was in person or it was virtual, is people, they have questions. So either they come up in the middle of a presentation, like you may be now thinking, I have another question for Karyn, or sometimes they come to your session with a burning question. And so if you will be sure, you have 40 minutes for your session, if you'll be sure to save time either throughout the presentation where you pause and ask for questions, but please don't take the full 40 minutes for your content, because people are sometimes get frustrated that they came and they really wanted to ask something and they didn't get the chance. And so I will pause here if there's another question, take my own advice. I see Barbara was asking about changing times. I would need to talk with you, Barbara. Right now, I've already turned over everything to our team, and they're building it out, and they've hired room hosts that are assigned to each of your sessions, and we've created all the Zoom links. So I need to look and see if there's an opening somewhere where I could do that. But things are starting to get more set in stone, but I can work with you individually on that.
Thank you, Karyn. I appreciate it.
Of course. If I can accommodate requests, I certainly do try to honor it. It's just as we get closer to the event, it's a moving puzzle of 1,000 pieces, and I love puzzles, but sometimes I have certain constraints. So I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
And so a picture worth 1,000 words. You do not have to have a presentation. It could just be you and your charming self presenting, and that's fine too. So here is something that I'm thinking is a burning question for some people. Because I've been talking about how you're in Socio, and you're going to be in Socio, and then you're going to be in Zoom. And you might be thinking, well, how do I get to each of these places? What's the key? So you will be getting from our planning team, the symposium planning team, you'll be getting an email prior to the event that will be saying, oh, here's how you access. You'll be able to access Socio. And that's talking to you as a participant who is registered for the event. And that's how you're going to get into that convention center, that virtual convention center, see the keynotes, network with people, go to the exhibit hall. So that's going to come in an email to you, and it's going to go out to thousands of people, right? But there's something special for you as a presenter so that you can get into your Zoom breakout room before the doors open. Now, if you remember when we were in Socio and I clicked on agenda and I clicked on a session, as a participant, I can click on that 15 minutes before the session starts. So let's say I was going to go to this Implementing Genius projects in the early learning classroom, and it's going to start at 4:30. Well, at 4:15, as a participant, I can go in. Maybe I just want to click in, and then I'm going to turn my camera off and go get some coffee and then come back and get ready for my session. But as a presenter, you don't want to just walk in the door when everybody else is walking in the door. So what I'm going to be doing is early in the week before our Thursday, October 21st, I'm going to be sending you an email that will come from me, and it will give you a special Zoom link. So here there will be, in the form, you'll be able to see your session title, your time, your date, and then if you have a co-presenter, the co-presenter's name. If you have two co-presenters, their names. There'll be a Zoom link, and you will be able to click on this 20 minutes before things open. So that'll give you 5 minutes before anybody else comes in the room, and you'll see your room host name. We're hiring them now, so everybody will have their own room host. And so let's say, it is Ashley Alvarez. So it'll say, Ashley Alvarez, give a Zoom link. You and Ashley and all your co-presenters are going to use this one Zoom link, and it's like a special key to get to like a green room. And you will have 5 minutes to meet your room host and say, you know what, I want to do breakout sessions. I plan to do annotation and chat. You can tell them all the things. You can tell them even, I want you to monitor the chat for me because, like here, Molly Stitt is going to be presenting on her own. So she may need somebody like Glennon is doing for me, just helping out. And your room host will be that person. They're there to introduce you. And they're there to help do timekeeping if you would like. And then they'll, at the end, let people know like, oh, the session's ending and now you can go to break or you can go to the, next keynote session, whatever's coming up. So they're there to help orient everybody, help you with the sound check. If you have technical difficulties, they've got your back. So they're going to become your best friend, I have a feeling. So that's what you will see in this form. It's going to be a Google Sheet that I will send to you, and it will only have the sessions. There's about 17, 18 concurrent sessions per period, and so you will see the other things that are going on at the same time as yours, but really all you need to do is find your name or find your session title, look across, find your Zoom link and your room host, and you're set to go. Just save that link, click it 20 minutes before your actual start time. So if I am Jacqueline here at 4:10, I'm going to use this Zoom link so that I can get ready for my 4:30 breakout session. And that's, I had someone who emailed me and they said, well, I've been assigned jury duty. What if I can't make it? I do have co-presenters. And I said, you know what, that's okay. If you get called to jury duty, your two co-presenters they'll be using that link and they can take, it's not like they're stuck without the person who was planning to lead it, as long as they were planning to know the same content. So this Zoom link, one link for this whole session. And then I also have for you, if you would like, if you are working on your presentation, there's a link here and it takes you to a slide template. So it basically is the template that I'm using today for slides. So if you would like to use that, you're welcome to. It's optional, it's up to you. So the email, I am not going to send it just to the primary facilitator because I know that that could be tricky. So I have compiled the big list of all co-presenters and all primary presenters. And so you will all get this access to this form. It's probably a good idea if you know that mail tends to go to spam for one of your co-presenters to, forward it to them and just say, hey, did you get this? So, help each other out, but I am going to send it to all presenters and co-presenters all on the same day. Are we required to use Google Slides or can you use PowerPoint? So if you create your presentation in PowerPoint, we have that you convert it to Google Slides, and it's easier for us to be able to attach it to Socio for people to be able to access it. And if you are not sure about that, you can email me and I would be happy to help with conversion of PowerPoint to Google Slides. If that's something you need, you just let me know. All right, so I'm going to just pause and take a breath in case somebody's like, I've got a question. All right, I'm going to move on and Glennon's going to check if somebody's question comes in and if I miss it. So here are the next things that you can be thinking of. So you were going to be checking out the event schedule once you get that email that says, hey, it's time to activate your account for Socio. Then you will click on that, you'll activate it. I realized I put the link in here, but it's only going to work if you log in. It works for me because I've logged in before. So if you were at our pre-conference, then you've already logged in and you would be able to get in now. If not, then you'll be getting something to help you to log in so that you can play around with it. So, you'll be able to get this days ahead if you just want to play around with the platform. We find that people think it's pretty intuitive. And then each day we do have keynotes and other sessions going on. So you'll be going through Socio to get to all of those. And then you will be using your special Zoom link 20 minutes before your start time. And that's something that you're going to, as I said, going to be receiving from me. And I'm here. You all are, you're my pride and joy because you are bringing the content to this event. And I am so grateful to you, and I am here to help you as you need. I was a presenter years ago at the symposium before I took this position, and didn't imagine that one day I'd be here helping other presenters, but I know how rewarding it can be to present, and I hope that you find that you meet new people and you learn new things as you're there to help teach other people. I'm going to close out my presentation for a moment, and then the rest of what I have to share are some engagement tips for Zoom. So if you haven't used Zoom very much as a presenter, I can go through that. I also have a link here. I didn't create these, but I found them to be useful engagement practices. So I will go through this, but I thought that I would pause before I go through this because some of you present on Zoom quite a bit and you may not have questions about these engagement tips, and you could ask your question now and then I can continue for those who want to stay for the tips. As I mentioned, we have these Zoom engagement tips. There's a link here in the chat. I'm not going to go through all 25, but I do encourage you, if you're looking, like maybe you've presented for a while and you're looking for something new, the feedback I got on this is that it did have some something new to try. So maybe it's not even so much for your participants as you, because you need something fresh to keep you on your toes and trying something different. So here's an engagement tip that has worked really well for me in the past. I don't know if you've used it before. It's called Waterfall. And this is where you have people put into the chat something, but you tell them, don't press enter. We're all going to do it at the same time. So here's how we're going to practice this. I love to build a STEAM playlist. So that's any songs that have to do with the letters of STEAM. And so, you know, like Weird Science, the song Weird Science, I think that's Oingo Boingo for the S. So if you would put into the chat, but don't press enter yet, a song that you think I need to add to my playlist for when I do presentations, I would appreciate it. So I'm going to type in something and then I'll count down from 3 and then we'll see a playlist, and you'll have your own playlist as well if you need music for your session. Okay. All right. I'm going to give about 10 more seconds for you to think of a song. All right, I'm going to count down from 3 and then you're going to press enter and we'll have our playlist. So 3, 2, 1, Waterfall. Electric Avenue. I don't have that one yet. How awesome. Oh, The History of Everything. And She Blinded Me with Science. Does anyone who's here have an engagement tip, something that they've used before that really worked in a presentation to keep people on their toes as they're learning from you?
That's my tip. That's what I usually do. I make them stand up and do a go noodle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, go noodle. Oh, yes. I'm going to put that in the chat. I've been a kindergarten, first grade, second grade, PE teacher, intervention teacher. Go Noodle was my friend. So Go Noodle, that's a great one. And I see Socorro says Padlet. Padlet's really good. Thank you for adding that one to the list. I think that there's a lot of fun ways to use Padlet. And you know what, I have to say that's one that I've used as the participant, but not used as much as the presenter. Then I see here, oh, Flipgrid, Barbara, you've got that, and I'm going to add in your Go Noodle. And then up above here, I see that Kristen said she's done a quick scavenger hunt. You search your desk area for a paperclip, a pen, a rubber band, and then you do a quick science demo. People love that kind of thing. They love to be able to kind of look over at their desk and see, you know, what little weird things they have that they can make. So yes, I think that's a great idea. We will be sending out something that will tell people to have some things on hand, because there are so many hands-on things in addition to our makerspace sessions. But every presentation can have something hands-on. It doesn't have to be in the makerspace. So yeah, get people moving. We've even, Glennon and I have done sessions where we told people, get up and look out a window, or if you can easily step outside for 2 minutes, and then we give them something they're supposed to look for. They come back, and then we do a waterfall, and it reads like a poem. I mean, it's amazing. And just, you know, it's 2 minutes of your time, which is precious time, but it gets people really thinking and can get them deeply into the topic that you're wanting to discuss. So I love scavenger hunts, getting up and moving. And, you know, anything that gets people to try something different, especially if it's something that they can then take back and use themselves, whether it's with students or maybe it's in a staff meeting. Make your slides interactive so that folks can copy them and then fill them in on pages. Oh, interesting. Kristen, that's a really fun idea. Right?
Yeah, you can do it in different ways. You can the simplest way being like, hey, make a copy of this presentation in the presenter notes section. You can take your notes so that you remember what you were thinking when I went over this particular section, or you can actually make it interactive where there's actually text boxes in the slides and you have them fill things in, you know, or do particular activities in there. Or if you're keeping your slides shared with everybody and you do a breakout room, you can have a slide for each breakout room where they, one of the most interactive ones I've had is where the breakout room participants had to come together and they had to create a shared slide collage about some topic. It was, I think we were doing scholar practitioner leaders, and they had to create a collage about what they thought a scholar practitioner leader was. And so that was really fun to see each group's interpretation of that. So just different, so basically using your slides as an interactive notebook with your participants.
I love that idea. I did one time a gallery walk where everybody was to, they had to make something on their desk and then take a picture of it, and then they put it into the slide deck. And the most wonderful thing for me as the presenter is days after that was all done, I happened to go and open it up again, and people were still adding to it, and they were going back and making comments about each other's. And so it's like it lived on beyond me being there. And people, like, there is that delicate balance, Kristen, as you were saying, between having animations on your slides that are distracting and then those that actually capture the attention and the imagination. And short videos work well. Molly's saying Sakura said that for her presentation, she's doing a mind mapping activity and she's using Jamboard. I've heard other people who love Jamboard. So that might be something you want to try out if you're looking for something new. And then Kristen says, if anyone wants an easy way for folks to share drawings, use Padlet. It has a drawing feature. I've used it with students to draw models, and then you can compare each other's models. Good to know. So that's all the questions and comments that I see right now in the chat. I really am thankful that you took some time out today to come to this. I hope you found it helpful. I do encourage you to check your inbox for me. I'll try to be as exciting as I can be in my subject line, so you will open the email from me that says that it has something to do with your special link in Zoom, because that probably is the thing that you just don't want to miss, that, because otherwise you would have to go into your session at the same time as all participants. And we want to be sure you are set up for success. Your room host is going to be your friend and help you. And if there's anything that you think of between now and October 21st. And I'm hoping that during the symposium you get to meet each other, because I've met many of you in the past, and I know you're a wonderful group. I wish we could be in person together and have a little gathering, because I think you'd find that you're in good company with each other. So I'm going to end this is the formal presentation, but you're welcome to stick around if you just want to listen to some music with me, or if you think of another question. But you have my gratitude. Thank you so much.